Hello and welcome to another StarMade tutorial. I'm Tom from Critical System Failure, and today I'm going to be showing you what the best way to make a ship is and how to get your finances sorted out. As you can see in the top of the screen it says credits. That actually is my money. It's like 652 million something. So that's a lot of money. I made it by doing one simple thing, and that is mining star stations. Like one of these. They're identified by a purple square, and you can see them on the navigation menu under Other, Station and the name. If you just fly around with the first ship I showed you in the first basics tutorial, you can just fly around until you find one of these, and then you can actually start constructing a proper ship. So that's what we're going to do right now. As you can see, I've got a lot of hull. I've got a lot of antimatter cannons, thrusters, stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna start making our very own proper ship. So I'm gonna press X to make our new ship. Previous ship you've made, you can disassemble it or just remove the blocks you attach to it. So I'm gonna call this one CSF proper ship, and I'm gonna enter the ship core by pressing R. So we gotta start all over again, but we're gonna do it in another way because we're gonna use an SD cockpit. You can buy these at the shop, and it's always nice to have one because it'll change the viewport when you're in the ship. You can switch between the ship core view and the SD cockpit view. So what I'm gonna do, because I always need to access my ship core, I'm gonna build a hallway around it. And you always have to look very carefully at where the arrow is pointing, because yeah, that is the front of the ship. So, as you might also have noticed, I've upgraded my main ship as well. So it's a lot bigger than it was before. And I'm going to show you something which will make shipbuilding a lot easier. If you press Control when you're in build mode, you get advanced settings on the right side. With these, you can make a symmetrical form of your ship. So I've selected the Y and Z plane, and as you can see, I get a red grid around it. If I don't click OddSim, it'll set the middle point not where I want it to be, because my ships always start with one block, and that's the ship core. So I click OddSim mode, which will make it an odd number for the symmetrical form. And as you can see, if I place a block, it'll be placed on the exact opposite side. So I'm gonna make us a hallway by putting some blocks around it, like so. And what I like to do is, whenever I build a ship, is I like to keep a space of 3 by 3 blocks open so I can navigate freely when I don't have gravity yet. Because you can use gravity in a ship by using a gravity unit, which I also have in my inventory. One of these. This will allow you to add artificial gravity to your ship, which will make it easier for you to navigate in. So, I've built myself a chamber for my ship core. And what I'm going to do now, be sure you have these as well, I'm going to add a plex door. Plex doors are very handy when it comes to, well, adding doors really. So I'm going to make this door as 3 by 3 as well, because we're in space and our character can be lined up to nothing or just randomly rotated. So if you make it 2 by 1, it'll be too small. And just for this tutorial I'm gonna add some plex lights as well, because otherwise you won't be able to see what the hell I'm doing. So plex lights it is, there we go. And I'm gonna add the gravity unit I've talked about, so it'll make this tutorial a lot easier as well. So I'm gonna leave my ship core. As you can see, I'm still flying around, but if I look at the gravity core, the gravity unit, and I press R, it says you entered the gravity of CSF proper. And I can actually jump around now. If I now leave my vessel, I'll fall down to about 300 meters, and then I'll leave the gravity well that I've created artificially. So I'm gonna click it again to leave the gravity, and as you can see, it can fly around perfectly now. So I'm gonna enter the ship core again, and now that we've made some doors, we can actually start making a proper ship, because, well, we're gonna need that as the cockpit, where we really need it. So I'm gonna lengthen this up a bit. I'll probably put the weapons computers and such right there, which I actually need to buy first. The handy thing about these stations is that they're usually very close to shops, and the nearest shop is 1300 meters away, so that is really close. I'm gonna add some power now, and in the previous tutorial I've also talked about setting up your power properly by letting it not touch each other. So I'm gonna set my power units up like this in a sort of grid form. This will make them work more efficient, because if you look on the power on the left side, it says 1094 units per second, but if I place an extra one here, it'll actually go down, so we don't want that. So if you start setting up your power, make sure to do it in a grid form where they don't touch each other's sides. So I'm gonna extend these a little so I have a little bit more power. And I'm gonna increase the size of these like so. And then I'm gonna add my thrusters, and they don't really matter how they're lined up. I'm gonna do it like that. So I still have my ship, and it's a little bit different than previously, because if I leave my core, you remember I placed those doors. Well, they're right here. If I press R on them, they'll actually open and close again. So it's pretty cool and nifty, because you can leave your ship, close the door, and they can't shoot into the ship then, because it'll be protected by, for example, your force fields, which we'll talk about later in the advanced tutorials. Anyway, I'm gonna close this one up, and I'm gonna go to the shop. The handiest thing about the navigation menu is that you can use it to find anything. If you press N, and you can set the filter to anything you want, even asteroids, which will fill it up, which you don't want actually. And you can click on the object you want to go to. So I'm going to click on the shop, and as you can see, I got a white arrow pointing towards that shop. So that's the easiest way of getting around in StarMade. And I need to get in range of the shop by 150 meters or something. Yeah. I'm going to stop by pressing shift, and I'm going to buy myself a weapons computer and a salvage computer. There we go. Now where was there's the station. So I'm going to fly back towards the station where I was. And as you can see, my ship already popped up, my big cruiser. And there's a lot of useful things aboard these stations. I don't know why we can salvage them. They're not managed by factions, unlike the pirate stations, which you shouldn't be attacking at this stage of the game. I don't know why they're abandoned or something. Sometimes the trader guild, the ships that are passive, so the trader guild, yeah, that's what they're called, trader ships. They're passive, but they drop by these stations every once in a while, and they just stop and then go on to the next target they're headed for. It's pretty random out of these. Anyway, well, we've got these basic things, so I'm gonna